Good evening, everyone. For those who don't know us, we are Jess's eldest sisters, Alison and Kerry, and on behalf of our family and the bride and groom, we would like to thank you all for being here today. We would also like to say a huge thank you to the new Mr. and Mrs. O'Neill for organising this wonderful event. Before we talk about our beautiful bride, Ali, Mum and I are honoured to officially welcome Sean into our family. Sean, we met you over 7 years ago now, and we always knew you were special and the one for our Jess. Oh, for goodness sake. You look after her so well. We couldn't be happier for such a gorgeous couple. One of the first memories of Sean that we had was at Christmas time, where Mum had arranged a night out for our family to come together. We all met at a Greek restaurant called Opa. This was the first time Sean had met some of our extended family, and it may be a time he would like to forget. As the alcohol flowed, we all got a bit louder and merrier, and before we knew it, Sean was grabbed in a headlock by our exuberant Auntie Evelyn. It was only after a few minutes of laughter and when she had smothered Sean with kisses that we noticed the colour drain from Sean's face as he looked upon Jess to save him. Another example of our fondness of Sean was expressed by our late Grandma Dot, when in conversation on a canal walk, she casually told Sean that she would come back to haunt him if he didn't marry Jess. Again, Sean, welcome to our family. As well as Sean, we are delighted to officially be family with all the O'Neills. Joe, Mary, Katie and Becca have welcomed our family with open arms right from the first time we met. Your strength of family is immeasurable, and seeing so many of you, all of you and your relatives here today is a true testament of your kindness, love and generosity. Thank you.
One of the reasons Kerry and I are making a speech today is due to the absence of our late dad, Bob. Jess and Dad were always very close, sharing a love of music and playing the music game Guess the Intro in the car together. When Jess started her course in English and American Literature at Birmingham University, the timing roughly coincided with Dad's retirement. Dad really got into reading the literature on Jess's course, so she had the benefit of her tutors and her dad's view on all the different texts. Dad and Sean bonded over their shared love of football. However, Dad would have said that Sean can't love the game that much if he supports Chelsea. And now to our beautiful sister Jess. One of the disadvantages of being the youngest, in addition to having fewer photos of yourself as a baby, is that your older sisters have clear, indisputable memories of you growing up. I can even still remember the first time I met Jess. Just over 28 years ago, we had gone to the hospital to visit Mum, and I was passed this tiny baby to hold in my arms. She flailed her arms a bit and then started trying to eat my jumper. I felt such a strong urge to protect my little sister. This appetite Jess displayed early on grew. And though she was sometimes fussy when it came to food, preferring broccoli and only drinking the purest apple juice, she didn't always have the vegan preferences she now has. When Jess was about 3 years old, Kerry went into the garden to discover Jess midway to putting a lovely, juicy snail in her mouth. Being a protective older sister, Kerry ran over to knock the snail from her hand, but it was too late. Jess had had her first taste of escargot. It will come as no surprise to Sean, and to most of you here, that Jess has always been independently spirited. And if we or her friends tried to tell her what to do from a young age, she would instantly retort, "You can't boss my life." Her independence grew, and she loved nothing better as a child than to sing to herself, make up stories, and sit in the cupboard under the stairs talking to her friend, Henry the Hoover.
After the Hoover, Jessie went on to become very fond of animals, and I have very strong memories of how much she enjoyed it when we were young and visited animals at city farms. Jess was particularly fond of the goats, letting them lick the flavouring off her crisps before eating them herself. Soon after, Jess developed friendships with humans, and by the age of 4, she had 5 boyfriends. These were Peter, Jack, Oliver, Alex, and Sarah. Sean, apologies for breaking Jess's scandalous, polyamorous past you on your wedding day. But do not worry, since you both first met over 7 years ago, she has only had eyes for you. I remember well the summer of 2012 when Jess and Sean began dating. As mentioned, Jess was working at the London Olympics as a security guard. You can only imagine how threatening Jess could have been. I still remember to this day Jess gushing to me about meeting up with the handsome Sean. She drank and laughed and drank and thought he was so sweet and drank. Then after too much drink, a giggling Jess spilt her rosé all over Sean, and from that point on she was convinced she had ruined any further chances. Jess and Sean are a wonderful, caring couple who have many things in common, and one of these things they share is a love of Harry Potter. Though I imagine they may have expressed it in different ways growing up. When we were growing up, after a tough day at school, Jessie loved nothing more than putting on her Harry Potter cape and jumping, or flying, on the trampoline with her broomstick. She also managed to whip off her bra from underneath her clothes mid-flight.
Jess and Sean share many other interests: wildlife, travelling, giving Jess lifts everywhere, sunsets, and photography. For them, there is nothing quite like waiting, really waiting, for the post-sunset, beautifully coloured sky, a magical moment, and then taking as many photos of each other as they can in front of it. As Jess's older sisters, we not only have the memories, but we have had the privilege to watch her grow from a Shirley Hughes illustration from the My Naughty Little Sister books to an elegant young woman who has found and nurtured a talent and passion for teaching. We're all very proud of her. As most of you know, Jess and Sean are planning to go travelling in November as an extended honeymoon, and we will miss them both enormously. They are both wonderful people individually, but together they make a fabulous couple and have a really special bond, taking good care of each other wherever they are. So we'd like to propose a toast. If you'd like to raise your glasses. To the wonderful bride and groom, Jess and Sean.
Well, I'm honoured to be loved, but thank you. And when I was asked to do the speech, and often the groom's father is asked to do a speech, but I was given lots of advice going round today. It's like, keep it short and sweet and to the point. Well, obviously you guys have heard my speeches before. And the other one was, make sure your speech is not so good, because the groom, or the groom, and the 2 best men are going to be following. So I don't want to make mine too good, because I need theirs to be sort of okay, all right? That bit wasn't in the speech Mary read yesterday. So look, there's bets. Apparently there's been bets taken. Can you lift that up, glass? On how long I'm going to last for. So I'm going to go double it quits with somebody in the corner. So here it goes. First of all, wrong page. All is. On behalf of Mary and myself, and we say from the bottom of our heart, everybody in this room is welcome today to Sean and Jess's wedding, and me and Mary just welcome you, because honestly, it's one of the nicest crowd. I've walked around the table talking to everyone, and God, I think we're in for a good evening. Now, one of the things that I wanted to warn on all the people from Jess's side of the family is that us O'Neills are a little bit wild when it comes to parties. And I want to give a little demonstration. So after 3, I want all the O'Neill part of the family to say, "We want a party." So 1, 2, 3. We want a party! Now the Hesquith family, I know, are a little bit shy, but I'm going to give you an opportunity too. So after 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, well. We're going to have a good time, don't you worry about that. Just a couple of thank yous. A lot of people have come from different parts of the world, from Australia, Canada, from Scotland. We've got the kilts on. And thank you for making the effort to come. And I hope you all enjoy yourself today. And we've also got my very special auntie and uncle from New York, Uncle Pat and Auntie Peggy. And we were in New York last week for a wedding with the family, and we just had a fabulous time. So I'm glad to hear now to see the way we do it here in England. The name Kerry, Kerry, that's just done a lovely speech. I just don't want you to think that people are talking behind your back today, because Kerry's going to be mentioned a lot today, because Kerry and Dublin are playing in the football. So if you see these people on the phone... No. But anyway, so it's a big day for Kerry's in lots of ways. And Kerry, I want to thank you and Mark for last night. About 60 of us went to your lovely pub and the restaurant, and honestly, it was like Michelin star food. Thank you so much. Now, Shawnee Boy, known as Sean, Shawnee Boy, and Mr. Nice Guy. And honestly, Sean has always been a perfect son, brother, and an adorable child, and always so lovable. But unfortunately, Sean always got the short end of the straw with his 2 sisters. I mean, literally all the time. And, you know, just a couple of cases, when we went on holiday, once on a boat, and there was only... Rebecca was meant to share the bed with me and Mary. Sean, she didn't want that. Sean had to get up and he had to end up sleeping on the floor. Whenever we went into hotels, Sean got the worst. And in St. Lucia, Sean, remember we had a 5-seater car, but there were 6 of us and you were all meant to take turns to sit in the back, in the crush bit. But Sean ended up being all 7 days in the back. He was off the sisters. Always the last straw. But one thing Sean always was when he was young was very, very brave. And just an example of it is when Rebecca came home one day, she walked into the kitchen and opened up the drawer, and in the drawer was a rat. And this rat was so scared of Rebecca that it had a heart attack, and remember, it died. But what they made me do, I had to rip out the kitchen, and what I had to do is get some wires from A to B under the floor. And I was thinking, how the hell am I going to get the cables under the floor? And it's like a 4-foot void. And Sean said, "Dad, I'll do it." And the girl said, "Don't be stupid, Sean. There's rats under there. No problem." Did he or did he not just climbed under the floor? No problem. He was just brave. Then when we went to St. Lucia, these girls, Sean got the short straw. We had 2 guard dogs in the house that we stayed. And these girls were terrified. But Sean, do you remember, you were so brave, and Sean was showing the girls, don't be scared. And do you remember you used to put your hand in the mouth, and the dogs got back at 2 o'clock in the morning, when Katie come home from her party and we were in bed, Sean's phone would ring, and it's Katie, "Come down and get me, Dad." But things did change as he got older, Sean. And we were in bed a couple of years ago, and we live in a 3-story house, and me and Mary were in bed, and we heard this. And it was a burglar. We thought it was a burglar. So I got up, and Mary sort of said, "I'm going to go and see what's happening, who it is." I walked into the bathroom, and there's a fox. And this fox lunged at me, and it jumped over the banister rail, down onto the floor behind. And I said, "Sean, Sean." And Sean comes out of the bedroom. "What, Dad?" I said, "Sean, the fox here." So he goes back into the bedroom, and he puts a towel around his legs. Remember coming out with the towel? And I said, "Well, you're not going to be able to help me with that." And then I said, "Sean, be careful if a fox is like frightened, it could attack us. So next thing, goes back into the room, door closes, locks the key. So I'm there by myself. I'm bloody hell. Did you come out after that? 4 years ago when Sean returned from Australia, he came back with Jess, and I asked Sean if he would come and work, because he was looking for some work, to come and work with us in our construction company. And I think one thing we learned from today, and I know a lot of help with you, Jess, is that Sean's got good organisation skills and being able to organise things like this. Sean changed a lot of things in our company, and in 2017 we won the most considerate, the top award in the United Kingdom for construction. And honestly, all of that was down to Sean. And that puts a lot of, just shows he's, just his organisation and how good he is and what he does with his job. And even at work, people would say to Sean, hey Sean, can you help me with this, help me with that? And Sean always would say, not a problem, and just get onto it. So he's got a lovely way of working, and that's why they call him Mr. Nice Boy Sean. I was at a party about 6 months ago, and a teacher that Sean had about 15 years ago, she's been teaching 35 years. And when she seen me, Mr. Joe O'Neill, she came up to tell me that Sean, in 35 years, I want you to know that Sean was my favourite pupil in all the 35 years. Again, Mr. Nice Boy Sean. So even when he was young, you've just been great, Sean. So how's the bet going now? Because I've got double quits with somebody.
Keep going, it's great, guys. Love it. Oh, uncle.
The other thing, I had missed a bit of the speech going, so I might come back to it, maybe not. But going on to Jess, when Sean when Sean was at school, we always wanted Sean to have girlfriends, as you always do. But he had some of the greatest friends from his private school, from his primary school and secondary school. But Sean was so much into just the boys and going out and at the weekends, but PlayStation came out. No, I'm saying playing with PlayStation, all right? I've got to get my words right. Listen, I knew I shouldn't have the drink. So this big table of boys down here, okay, what they were doing, every Saturday night and Friday night and Thursday night, they'd be coming and playing on the PlayStation. So I said to Sean, look, maybe one night you guys should see if you can get some girlfriends and come back. Because at this time I'm starting to get a little bit worried. When you're coming to like 17 and 18, no girlfriends. So one night Sean said, would you mind if me and the boys have some girls round? Remember how absolutely. So we went out, we bought some drinks and everything in from. So me and Mary went to the restaurant and we got back at 11:30 at night and we sort of crept in, make no noise, and the door's fully open. And we see 4 girls sitting down like this, bored out of their skin. And I looked in, and all these boys over here sitting down playing PlayStation. You as well, yeah? And you, yeah? So, and also some of the lovely girls are over there, so they stayed friends with them, Liz, Phoebe and everyone, and you're all very welcome, you're lovely. So that was Sean. So then Sean went to university, and again, Sean was very quiet about girlfriends and whatever, but I remember going to pick you up. And of course, Jess, you were down for the Olympics, and Mary met you without knowing you were Sean's girlfriend. Yeah. And she thought that you were going out with Connor. Elliot. Yeah. So Sean didn't say anything, but eventually Sean opened up and he said that I've met this beautiful girl, Jess. And I think at that time, Jess, you were looking at doing some teacher training. You come to London and you were going to work at Pimlico for the inner city school, which is quite a tough school. And then luckily, Sean then asked, could you come and stay with us for a while? So we had the pleasure of Jess living with us. And honestly, we got to know you so well. And you were always welcome at our house. And then we've also travelled a lot. Of course, we've had New Year's Eve in Abu Dhabi in the desert. We've been in the Caribbean. We've been to Lombok and Bali, and of course that's where you made me and Mary, seriously, 2 of the happiest parents alive when you told us that you were going to get married. And today, how long have we been looking forward to this day? And Jess, I can just tell you, we are so happy to have you into the family. and we're having great times. We'll continue to have good times. Last page, don't worry.
Love it, keep going.
Okay, well, one thing that we have in our family, in Jess's family in common, and girls, your speeches were beautiful, Kerry and Ali. And it's all sort of about family, and you're absolutely right with our family. We are a lovely family, and so are you. And part of what we've proven in the two families is longevity in marriage. And of course, we've got Ken and Dorothy, which was your nan and granddad, that were married for 65 years. We've got Peggy and Pat from America that were married 54 years, and John and Monica, 61 years. So we have a lot of longevity. And when we were in New York last week, somebody asked Uncle Pat, you know, what is the recipe for success in marriage? And Pat said, never answer back and keep saying you love her. And Dad said, patience, the gift of forgiveness, keep telling each other you love each other. So there's a couple of common things in there, and it's all about telling each other you love each other. And of course the speech at your marriage today, or one of the reasons Kate you said, I thought that was so poignant, so nice and true. So on a final note, Jess, Sean definitely didn't get the short straw with you. And myself and Mary had the pleasure of meeting Bob, which we spoke with your dad. And we met him a few times in London, and honestly, we had just such a lovely time, and it was just an honour that I had met Bob. And he made us laugh, and again, you know, I had a similar few things in my speech as you about the football, and Man United and Chelsea, and Sean would always tell me the banter that they used to have. And I just thank God that you've had some years with Bob, Sean, and you'll have them lovely memories to talk about your grandchildren as well. And so Mary, Jess, Kerry and Ali, we welcome you in open arms, and I mean from the bottom of my heart. Jess, we love you, we love all your family, and we're just honoured now to be one. So we're going to have a little toast to, you might, do you want to say it? Yeah, to family. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Great. Wow, I wish I didn't go on that stag either. In typical fashion, I had my speech written out on paper and I lost it earlier, so I'm going off an earlier version that I've got on my phone. So if I missed anything out, I do apologise in advance. So again, give me great pleasure to for my wife and I to welcome every one of you here. It's amazing to have everyone here, and for people, my dad said, people have come from all over the world, from London, from Bath, from Ireland, Aaron coming from Australia, not only for the stag, but also for the wedding today. I'm really touched. Peggy and Pat from America. So I'm really touched all of you can come, and especially Kerry, Mark, and Katie and Tilly, who come 2 minutes down the road from Troon. Of course, unfortunately, the friend and family who can't be with us today, so I'd like to raise a toast for the absent and lost friends and family. So on to the thank yous. Firstly, Mum and Dad, Mary and Joe, we would both like to thank you for all your help and everything you've done to make this day happen. This day really just would not have happened without your help. So thank you so much. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving us so many opportunities. You gave Jess a place to stay when she first came to London. You were so welcoming with her, even when she announced that she was going to be vegan. And Dad couldn't work out how he was going to do one of his barbecues with a vegan.
It took him a little while to adjust, but he got there in the end. So you did well, and thank you for everything you've given me throughout my life. You've given me, Rebecca and Katie, so many opportunities. You've always been there for me and taught me the strong family values that we see today of love and honesty, which we've able to take into our married life now. So, I'd like to thank also my new mother-in-law, Mary, and of course Bob, who's not with us today, for the amazing job we did raising Jess. It was an absolute honour to me to meet Bob, and it was a shame it was so many years ago now, but it was a great joy for me, and I'd love to say thank you for all your help you've given us with the wedding, letting us stay in your house countless times, letting us store all our decorations in your house for the last few weeks. Everything like that. You've been amazing. Thank you so much, Mary. I'd like to thank the bridesmaids. I think you all agree they looked absolutely beautiful today. So, again, you've just been so amazing to Jess and just given her such a wonderful day so far, and we'll continue to give her a brilliant day. And you're all dotted around the room. So thank you to you all. And especially thank you to Lizzie and James for doing an amazing job. I think you all agree they were just absolutely amazing singing us down the aisle. So on to my best men, Kian and Elliot. Thank you guys. Thank you for organising such a brilliant stag, getting everyone together. You guys have been with me from year 7 to now, and we've remained brilliant friends along with everyone else. So I just thank you for always being there for me, and thank you for all the help you've given me on this wedding. I don't know if I'm going to be so complimentary in a few minutes, but we'll see about that. So saving the best to last, I want to say thank you to, or where am I with my speech? Sorry. Why am I going off this phone? Yeah, I think I'm on to Jess now. One more thank you left, and of course, saving the best to last, my beautiful wife, Jessica. There we go. We met over 7 years ago, and at the very classy Gatecrasher nightclub in Birmingham. When I first met Jess, she was standing at the bar, typically ordering a round of tequilas for her friends. The bar, fortunately for me, didn't take any card, so I went up, chest out, with my wallet, go, I'll get these. And I realised it was 15 quid, I went, maybe not. That's the story Pamela didn't tell you earlier. But luckily for me, Jess negotiated, and she bought two shots for her, 1 shot for me. And from then on, we got talking, met, and took it from there. And then the rest is you can say, one more bit of the story. So I was up in Birmingham, actually seeing a concert with some of my university friends who are here today. And much to their despair, I said to them, look, I've met this girl last night and I have to take her on a date. I really do. And it meant that they're going to be late for the concert. So Aaron turned to me and said, all right, you can go on this date, but you have to marry this girl. So that's why we're here today. From then on, our love just blossomed, but not just our love that blossomed, but our friendship too. We became travel companions on an unforgettable journey. We always made each other laugh, and every day, and I can't wait to have many more adventures with you in the future. We, of course, have lots of low points in the last 4 years, but your courage has always got both of us through, and you made me so proud when you became a teacher, including to Ava, who's sitting here today. So that's my speech. So I'd like to end with raising the toast to the most amazing, beautiful girl in the room, to Jessica. In the world. Sorry, in the world, not the moon.
With the nerves, and also thank you for everyone for saying, are you nervous? All day. All day why? Yeah, you know, we're not professional speakers. That's not a word, but that's the type of quality you can come to expect. So, without further ado, that's a quip about the other speeches done. Hi, I'm Elliot, and this is Kian, and we think we're the best men.
Honestly, that when you just said my best men, that might be the first time you've ever said best men. We say we think because the first time you said it, actually, I think it was about 3 o'clock in the morning in Piccadilly Circus. I left it because you don't want to take that as like given. The next time we gate crashed another family party in Camden, probably about 3 o'clock in the morning. Kate, your best like, you your best man. So thanks for the confirmation. And actually, we got here today and we don't have a room. So who knows? Who knows? But we're here now. So you've got to live with us, basically.
So before we start, we'd like to say a big thank you to both families for putting on such a beautiful day. It's been a privilege to share today with you all. Jess looking incredible, bridesmaids looking fantastic, and of course both Marys beautiful as always. Joe, that suit is fantastic.
I think we speak for everyone when we say today has been wonderful. So maybe we can just give a quick cheer for today. Our best mate, and lots of our best mate, marrying the girl of his dreams in this beautiful setting with the sun out. Didn't need the Mac. Also without a hitch, so a massive well done to both of you. Jess, all the organisation, and Sean, you drove the boxes here. Save the sun.
It's clear for everyone to see what a beautiful couple these two are. From the first time Sean spoke smittenly about someone he met at university to today's ceremony where they stood side by side with each other. They seem to complement each other perfectly. To be honest, anyone who travels the world once with each other, spending 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with one another, and they're willing to do it all over again, is surely meant to be.
As it's been said, I mean, we could have scribbled out some of this, a lot of it has been said. But we went to school together, high school, so we've known Sean, we worked out for about 17 years. So it's a long time, A lot of you would have seen us baby-faced. Anyway. 5'2". 5'2". So to think, in all that time, we've gone through school together, we've gone to university, we've done a bit of travelling here and there, we've gone through most of our 20s together. Little did we know, back then we'd be stood here today, seeing Sean. Lost half his hair. Lost his six-pack. And now he's lost half of everything.
I've heard that so many times and I've laughed every single time. The early days of our friendship were special. Joe would ply us with booze, barbecues and ice creams. Sean's house had Sky, then Sky Plus, and then to top it all off, he added a trampoline to the mix. And I think we were on first names basis with India and the local Chinese, not to mention Mr. Cipriani's chip shop. Along with that, there were also Chelsea tickets always rolling around, or golf days to go to, and there was always a sofa bed to crash out on. Mary was always giving solid advice, Joe, less so. We've seen Bex grow from a primary school student to a beautiful girl today. And of course, Katie's mates gave us our first taste of romantic aspiration. Surely you could say, grew on us.
But in all seriousness, like we do often still say like that FIFA session, as much as you want to take the piss out of us, and sorry to Amy, Sophie, Phoebe for sitting on the sofa, that in particular. But we still say how important a period in that life it was for us. So it was our adolescent years, you know, like between the ages of 11 and 18, that's a big time in your life. So the fact that we displaced Mary in her own home multiple times, sorry about that. And whether it's beers or birthdays, FIFA, lots of FIFA. Lots and lots of FIFA. Or the many barbecues and dinners. Our relationships now were forged back then. So it seriously was an important time in our lives. And the fact that they've already lasted nearly 2 decades and it doesn't really show any sign of abating, I mean, best man saga aside, it's fine. Thank you to Joe and Mary for everything, and thank you, Sean, for giving us a way in.
So over the years, we've actually considered ourselves honorary O'Neills now. When we were thinking about this speech and what to include, we couldn't count the number of times that we've attended christenings, confirmations, birthdays, leaving dues, cousins' parties, aunties' birthdays, New Year's parties, barbecues, and then we started thinking, often without Sean even being there.
Both of us, and I think we can speak for lots of other people in the room, hopefully, would consider Sean to be a part of our family. Again, that's a serious point, it's not a joke. We've always been welcomed with open arms into his, and what a family. We've got footballers, coaches, authors, social media influencers, doctors, marathon runners, and Sean. With a penchant for wrapping his own face in sellotape, testing light sockets with his fingers, and even recently, thinking The Secret Barrister was about coffee. We've always wondered, have a couple of genes skipped a generation?
But maybe that's a bit harsh. Sean has had his successes. Time limited, maybe. But successful times nonetheless. Between probably 2003 to 2005, in short, sharp bursts, Sean was the ladies' man of the group. We actually think you were probably the first person to have a girlfriend out of our group, and some of our group are yet to reach that milestone. Make what you will of that benchmark, but he has a few notable accomplishments that nobody can take away.
If we said, what would you... I'm not going to ask you. Who could forget Destinies? Shout out for Destinies. The underage nightclub. Horrible place. I wasn't actually ever allowed to go, but anyway. Got off with 9 girls in one night. Mary, I think you actually picked him up, so I don't know what. That was Watford. Yeah, the one in Watford. Ocean Watford. Yeah, so Mary, I think you picked him up along with the rest of the gang. I wasn't there, obviously not allowed. Trying to assurance in J2Os because they weren't as successful as Ladies Man Sean. In Cabos a few years later, it was the same. Until you sparked up a relationship, I remember. Very non-physical. But you were loyal nonetheless. And that was the end of that, Jess. Honestly, you have nothing to worry about. In the end, we weren't able to show you some of the absolute gems out there on social media. Might be for the best. From this special time in Sean's life. But do get in touch if you want to see any of them. And actually, I think, looking around the room, table at the back, there might be some people with experience of spin the bottle and house parties and dark rooms that they might be able to provide first-hand accounts of Sean's special period.
But why would you expect anything else, though? Strong stainless steel cross wrapped around his neck. Six-pack pumped from a recent bout of sit-ups. Hair gelled to perfection and a pair of smouldering eyes. Where did it all go wrong, mate? Pete, maybe too soon. But I think we can all agree on today's merit. He still brushes up pretty well.
In truth, though, what really matters is quality over quantity. And we're both delighted that after years of running up the numbers, going from Oceana to Liquids, from Red Back to Red Rooms, from Finnegans to Spoons, searching for that special someone, you found them in a pub crawl in Birmingham. Whether or not the fact you originally thought Jess's surname was Heskey is neither here nor there. What matters is today. Your commitment to a union and starting on hopefully a lifetime's worth of friendship, love, support and happiness. And happiness, I think, is the key word. Since you two first met, it's been clear to all of us how important Jess is to you, Sean. The transition out of university and education into the real world and adulthood can be unsettling and difficult. Maybe it's just me. Even if it doesn't feel it at the time. But when we were drafting this, I was thinking, during that period you only became more assured, more grounded. I don't think it's any coincidence that it was also the same time that Jess came into your life. I count myself very lucky to have the people around me that I do. Elliot, Charlotte, sure. But nobody more so than you. So I could only ever want the best for you. Seeing everything today, I think that you found it in Jess. In some respects, today doesn't change anything. You wake up tomorrow, have each other, and in that you have happiness. I, as do we all, wish you both a lifetime of it.
When Sean first asked me to be his best man, I was over the moon. But I was also surprised, so I tried to think why it caught me off guard. To all of us, Sean is the perfect guy. Kind, considerate, has a few good jokes every now and again, and is always good company. So for me to be asked to be one of the best men to someone who we all think so highly of sent me into a little bit of introspection. Jess, we've never seen Sean so happy and contented as he's been with you. I think it's safe to say that you're helping him realise his true destiny, which is slowly, day by day, moment by moment, turning into his dad. We're incredibly happy that you've both found perfection in each other, as we couldn't imagine anything more than this for Mr. Nice Guy himself. Aww. We'll end this how all things should be ended, with a toast, a hug, and a lifetime of love. Can we all please raise our glasses for the final time? To Jess and Sean.